The first thing that I want to point out is that the Views UI is actually a separate module from Views itself. Let's take a look at this under Extend. So when I search for modules with the word View in the title, I get two, and these are both core modules, Views and Views UI. Views is the module that actually enables you to have views running on your site, but Views UI is the module that gives you the user interface that makes it possible for you to configure your views without actually using code. When your site goes into production, meaning when it is live and visible to the public, it's often a good idea to disable the Views UI module for two reasons. First, disabling the Views UI module will help your site performance. Second, and perhaps far more important, it will prevent users with views permissions from accidentally editing views on production, including you yourself. It is better to change your views in your local development environment rather than in production to avoid embarrassing mistakes. Since views are the tool that create lists of content, they are an essential part of the end user's experience of your site. A messed up view can really break that experience. If you ever try to edit a view but do not find views listed under structure, let's go there, structure. The last item in this list is views, then chances are that the Views UI module has been disabled on that site, and you would need to re-enable it in order to edit views. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, we should go ahead and take a look at the user interface and what's available to us when we are working with our views. We can get to all of our views under Manage, Structure. We can also get to a specific view and edit a specific view if we want to, using the Quick Edit option on that view. I'm going to go under the Structure menu and scroll down to Views, and we'll take a look at the list of all of the views available to us. Most of these are by default from Drupal out of the box. Upcoming Events, however, is the one that we have created. Under Operations, I'm going to go ahead and edit the Upcoming Events view, and we'll take a look at how this user interface actually works. The first thing that we have right up here at the top are displays. Right now, we only have one display for this view, and that's the page display that we created. We can add additional displays here, including another page display, perhaps with different parameters, or other displays that you're seeing listed. We'll be working with some of these other displays in more advanced lessons, and in this chapter, we will be working with the block and feed displays. The next item that you see here is the display name, which is currently set to page. Any page display will default to a display name of page, so if you're going to have multiple displays, it's worth actually going in and changing the name. Perhaps, for example, in this particular situation, we're going to have a page for upcoming events and then also a page for past events. If this were the case, then we would want to make sure to name this page Upcoming. This way we know when looking at our displays that this particular one is for upcoming events, and that makes it easier for us to find what we need. The next item that we have here is title. This is the title that the user will see on the page. So this is the header 1 element. Note that there does not actually have to be a title at all, though from an accessibility standpoint, it's a good idea typically to have one. If we click on this, we can edit it, and we could also leave it entirely blank. See that it is not a required field. In the next box, we can adjust the format of the display. This governs the HTML that renders the view on the page. Let's take a look at some of the options that we see here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit so that we can see more of this in our browser. Right now, format is set to unformatted list. I can click on that and I can actually choose some other styles here, such as table or grid. There are a lot of modules out there that will give you additional styles for displaying your content in views. For example, there are slideshow styles that you can use that will tie into views and allow you to display content in a slideshow. In addition to choosing the format, you can also set the settings for that format. This is a little bit more advanced and has to do with the appearance of your Drupal site, including theming options. You'll see references here to classes. Under Show, Right now it's set to content and teaser. We can change this to show specific fields as opposed to showing content and a display mode for that content. For now, we're going to leave it at content, and in a later lesson when we create a block, we're going to change to fields. The next box, fields, is currently disabled because we're using the content display. If we were using the fields display, then this particular block would be available to us to start editing. The next two items here, filter and sort criteria, are used to determine which content displays. For example, when we created the view in the first place, we set it to only show content that was of the events content type. That would have been a filter that we set early on. And this area also allows us to choose what order that content displays in. Right now, it's displaying with the newest content showing first. In this middle column over here, we start with page settings. Page settings are here because we're using the page display type. If we were using another display type, then this would be slightly different because it would need different parameters that aren't necessarily right for that particular type of display. With a page, you need to know the path of that page, and you need to know whether or not that particular page can go into a menu. The header and footer options here allow you to put content at the top or bottom of your view. You can use view parameters in these particular areas, or you can use just simple markup. Also very important is the no results behavior. This is what happens when there is nothing returned for the specific query that your view is making. So for example, if there were no upcoming events, the view would display whatever was in the no results behavior. We're going to go ahead and add that here. I'm going to scroll down here and look for global text area. I just want simple text. And I'm going to have this particular no results behavior say there are no upcoming events. We'll apply that using a blue apply button that's at the bottom of this little modal window. And now we can see that we have a global text area in our no results behavior. If we wanted to edit it in the future, we would just click on that and be able to come in and make changes. I'm going to cancel out of this. The pager options will allow you to set how many results display in the view and to determine if the user gets to page through to more results. Keep in mind that if you have hundreds of results displaying on a single page, that can quickly become a performance drain. The default is 10 items at a time, and you will want to think carefully if you want to do more than 20 or 30 items at once. There is also a collapsed field set here on the far right under Advanced. We will be covering some of this in another chapter. A lot of what you'll find here is more advanced than this course and is easier to learn by playing around on your own once you're feeling confident with Drupal. I also want to point out this preview area down here below your view configuration. This allows you to see your work before saving your view and can be very useful. If you don't have a very fast environment, however, sometimes this can really slow down your working experience. If that's the case, then you may want to turn off auto preview so that things happen more quickly while you're setting your configuration. Scrolling back up here to the configuration area, I want to really emphasize here something very important. All of the work that you do in here does not save until you actually hit the blue save button at the bottom. So this save button right here. You know that you have unsaved changes if you have a little star next to your display name. Notice right here where it says upcoming page, there's a little star. That means that there are unsaved changes in this display. If I navigate away from this right now, I will lose my changes. I also have a nice little warning up at the top in yellow that tells me that I have unsaved changes, and I really want to pay attention to this. So I'm going to go ahead and save these changes now. And now it tells me that this has been saved and I no longer have that star next to upcoming page.